Hello, and welcome to my AP Stats project. For this project, I wanted to learn more about my favorite sport, Formula One, and answer a question that I had about it. Who is the best driver? So I took data on the two current best drivers that have won championships to see the answer. My research question for this project is the proportion of top 5 race finishes from 2015 to 2024 significantly different between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton? My goal for this project is to determine if the top 5 finishing positions differ from a random sample of races and use the collected data to determine if one driver is better than the other. Before I go into my charts and hypothesis testing, I want to explain the bias that could be in this project. Sampling bias is a big part of this. Max Verstappen has only been racing from the chosen seasons, 2015 to 2024. Lewis Hamilton has been racing since 2007. This means the sample might not fully reflect Hamilton's peak performance. We don't know if this brings the drivers closer in performance. Another type of bias is time bias. Over the years, regulations have changed in Formula One. One example is an added money spending limit in 2021. The affected driver was mostly Lewis because Mercedes had financial advantages that others didn't have. Red Bull or Max have benefited from the changes and think they helped them build a better car. Now, I will go into my charts. My first chart, a dot plot, shows the finishing positions of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Max had 26 top 5 finishes, as shown in blue, and 10 non-top 5 finishes. Lewis, as shown in orange, had 26 top 5 finishes and 10 non-top 5 finishes also. This graph is to show how many of each placement they got over their races. My second chart, this box plot, shows the distribution of top 5 finishes for the two drivers. Max Verstappen's box goes from 1 to 3.75. This shows that he had more top 4 or 5 finishes compared to Lewis. His median race finish was at 2. Lewis Hamilton's box goes from 1 to 3. From this, we can tell he had a more consistent finish in the top 3 than Max, and probably placed a little better. His median race finish was 1.5. Now, for my hypothesis test and confidence interval. My null hypothesis was that there is no significant difference between the proportions of top 5 finishes between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. My alternate hypothesis was that there is a significant difference between the proportions of top 5 finishes between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. First, I checked my conditions. It was a random sample from 210 races over the 2015 to 2024 seasons. The drivers were independent of each other, and there were at least 10 successes and failures. The conditions were met for a normal distribution. My P1 was the true proportion of top 5 finishes Max Verstappen had, which was 26 out of 36, or 0.722. My P2 was the true proportion of top 5 finishes Lewis Hamilton had, which was also 26 out of 36, or 0.722. This led to my z-score being 0 because you did 0.722 minus 0.722 divided by the standard error, which obviously gives you 0. My p-value, therefore, was 1 because the z-score was 0. At a significance level chosen of 0.05, 1 is way larger, so we failed to reject the null hypothesis. I then tested a confidence interval to be sure. I took a 95% confidence level and did a 2-prop z-int on my calculator and got a confidence interval of negative 0.2066 to 0.2066. So, after doing a 2-prop z-test and a confidence interval, we can conclude that we do not have enough statistical evidence to say that there is a difference in the top 5 finish rates of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton over the sample of races from 2015 to 2024. We see this because we failed to reject the null hypothesis during the test and the confidence interval had 0 inside. So, when concluding who is the better driver, we might have to do more statistics tests because currently they are similar from these randomly sampled data. Thank you for listening.